What he's angry, son.
What do you call this place?
It's a barbecue area.
Barbeque Area? They call this Babakiueria. Nice native name. Colourful. I like it.
When the first black settlers arrived in Barbeque Area, they found a native population sheltering around primitive open fires, attempting to cook their food with crude implements, and even seeming to take pleasure in burning their meat. I've always been fascinated by white people. The evidence of their culture is all around us. Their art, their industry, their way of life. But what do we think of white people? Excuse me, sir. What do you think about white people?
White people? You've got to be joking.
Well, I don't know. I've never met one.
I love their music. They can't dance, unfortunately, but I love their music.
10 little whitey boys standing in a line. One got drunk and then were 9.
They're a developing people. They're starting to take an interest in the world around them. And this is a good sign.
5 years ago, I decided to find out more about these strange and fascinating people. So I came here, to this white ghetto, and I lived for 6 months with a typical white family in this typical white house. Do you remember the day I first came to stay with you?
Oh, yes.
Very good.
Yes.
And what did you think when you first saw me?
Good.
Oh, very good.
Yes.
A great honour.
I tried to fit in here, to live amongst these people as one of the family, with a minimum of disruption to their daily lives. I wanted to observe them as they really are. These are some of the first pictures I took of the family. The day starts with breakfast. This is a busy time. The family tell each other their dreams and their hopes for the day ahead. Then the father bids farewell to his loved ones as he leaves them for a day of hard work with the men. While the mother, happy with her role as homemaker, stays behind to tend to all the little things of family life. The children spend their day at school, learning about the ways of their people. At the end of the day, the family comes together for dinner, to eat and to share their experiences. They were a happy people, always pleased to have their picture taken, living simple, uncomplicated lives. A far cry from this image of white people, the one we see so often in the streets of our cities. What brings these poor people to this level? Why do they drag themselves through the sewers of our society? I tried to find answers to these questions, but sadly, everyone here declined to be interviewed. So I put this question to the minister. Is it fair of us to expect white people to improve? Do they want to change?
Yes. And here in my department, we're doing everything we can to help them. We've created 32 new jobs in the last year. We've built 7 new houses.
But what if they're happy the way they are?
It'd be morally wrong for us to leave them like that. We've got to do everything we can to help these people take their place in society. And I think most white people are happy with what we're doing for them.
But has the government tried to find out what white people want?
Why? I mean, we're the government. It's our job to make decisions about what these people want and give it to them.
It's a waste of money. We pour money into white people and what happens? They either end up drunk or in jail, or both.
Mother, meet Tiola.
Excuse me.
Do white people think the government is doing a good job?
Oh, yes.
Very good.
They look after us. They're the kids.
But you said the other night,
Why can't they put on TV shows with white people in them?
Oh, yes, well, we say that, but it doesn't mean anything. We're really happy.
Very happy.
Well, there you are. Any television managers out there? I'm not sure how practical it is. But what about a few programs with white people? White actors? Maybe even some stories about white people.
Wouldn't have to be all the time.
Let's take a closer look at white society, at what holds it together. And the key to this question, the key which unlocks the door to understanding the jigsaw puzzle, the missing piece is the family. Because despite all evidence to the contrary, white family ties are very, very strong. Way up high in this building, somewhere near the top, is a typical grandmother, and there are many like her. Her family brought her here because they wanted her to be safe, up above the troubles of the world, in a place so treasured and so sacred, hardly anyone ever comes here. The security here is strict, deliberately so, to discourage the casual passerby from calling in and interrupting her daily routine. Even this intercom is out of order. Is this carelessness, laziness, or is it deliberate? Another barrier in the way of a potential nuisance. What can you tell me about the customs of your people? How should I behave? What should I do when I go in there and see this old lady who only has up to half a dozen visitors a year?
Well, you could talk to her for a bit. She'd appreciate that. Mrs. Smith, a visitor.
Would you like a sweet biscuit, dear?
Mrs. Smith lives in a small flat, surprisingly clean, not a speck of dust anywhere, and as you can see, surrounded by souvenirs. Mrs. Smith, who are these people?
Well, this is my son, and this is my daughter-in-law. These are my 2 grandchildren, and this is my little dog. I had to have her put to sleep before I came here. They don't allow dogs.
But you've still got the photos.
Oh, yes, they don't mind photos.
How far away does your family live now?
Oh, a long way, I think. I don't know. It must be a long way. They're always saying they'd like to see me more often, but it's too far out of their way.
And yet, despite the distances that separate them, the family is very close. They never miss ringing her at Christmas, on her birthday, and on Mother's Day.
Never miss.
And sometimes, they even ring up for no particular reason at all.
Hello, Mum. Hello, dear, how are you? Oh, no, we're all fine. Listen, here, have a chat to your little boy.
Good day, Mum.
Their austere design, their complete lack of decoration or adornment, gives no clue to the huge sums of money which pass through these doors every day, as the followers of this religion exchange their donations for these small prayer tokens. We can see some of the worshippers now as they stand, heads bowed in deep reverence, while they listen to the incantations broadcast over the TV set and study the details on their prayer tokens.
The lion pretty steady. Racing and got them to a good start. Flying Shoes got the best of the start.
And then they pray. They pray for success, for wealth, for happiness. And they believe that the future course of their lives will be foretold by watching some trained horses run around a large circle.
Freckles Brown and Leg Warmer battling it out near the line. Leg Warmer coming at Freckles Brown and Leg Warmer. Got there to win it, I think. Oh, gee, Brigantic and Flying Shoes flashed.
Strange, isn't it, that at the end of the broadcast, we saw many people here tear up their tokens and throw them away. But if you thought this action indicated a loss of faith in the religion, you'd be wrong. Many of these people will be back here tomorrow to exchange new donations for new prayer tokens. What simple faith. One of the important issues of today is the 200-year celebration. when we mark the 200th anniversary of our discovery of white people in Barbeque Area. Some people are concerned that whites are being left out, excluded from the plans for this important occasion. Do you feel left out?
Oh, I don't think so.
Left out of what?
The 200-year celebration.
Oh, I don't think so.
We didn't even know it was on.
But it's a celebration of everything that your people and my people have achieved together over the last 200 years.
Oh, it's a small party, is it?
There probably wouldn't be room for us then.
But you go ahead and enjoy yourself.
No, this is nonsense. We're all Babakiuerians. This is for all of us. And even if certain people aren't actually in it, they can still see the whole thing on TV. We have 2 white people on one of our boards of management. And as a result of that, we are planning several events which will involve the direct participation of some whites. Now, they have a rich culture, and we would not want to be without their contribution. But if they're not happy with that, well, there's absolutely nothing to stop them from organising their own events. I mean, we're more than happy for them to celebrate this historic occasion amongst themselves. Look, they're always telling us they want to manage their own affairs. Now, isn't this the perfect opportunity to show us what they can do?
This is the site of one of the 200-year projects, a project at the centre of a controversy. The idea is to turn this barren wasteland into a carefully designed park.
We're going to bulldoze everything you can see there and replace it with natural bushland. Something to show future generations what it was like in this area 200 years ago. We want to make it as beautiful as we can. Tall trees, shrubs, wildflowers, sandstone outcrops, and down in the valley, a little stream.
Who could argue with that? No one, you would think. But there has been some opposition from white protest groups who say they want the area to stay as it is. It might look ugly to us, but they say they like it. And they claim a park on this site will interrupt important trade routes. It will also interfere with one of white people's most cherished ambitions, to be the most polluted society in the world.
A group of white protesters today attempted to hoist their land rights flag over this building.
Reports such as this one are becoming more frequent. Is this a sign of increasing militancy on the part of whites?
The demonstrators were soon arrested and their flag taken down. But the demonstration, which delayed the start of a gala charity ball, marks an upturn in white protest.
I think these are the actions of a minority. Most white people are peaceful and law-abiding, but there are always the unhappy few who want to make trouble and give the rest a bad name.
We can't let white people go around breaking the law just because a few bleeding hearts feel sorry for them. What sort of society would that be?
What if white people feel that protests and demonstrations are the only way they can gain public attention?
They can put an advertisement in the paper just like everyone else.
And if they can't afford it?
Well, they'll just have to save their pennies. They might even have to get off their backsides and do a decent day's work for a change.
You'll be listening to Radio Barbeque Area 2BBK. Time is...
Some people say white people are lazy.
Oh, no.
Oh, I don't think so.
What would you say to the idea that a white person would rather spend the day lying in the sun around a swimming pool than doing a decent bit of hard work in a factory?
No.
Definitely not.
No.
And if I could make this a bit more personal, if you had to choose between going out on a carefree, lazy picnic on a beautiful day with a few good friends or staying at home to clean out the gutters or paint the house, what would you do?
Oh, stay at home.
Definitely.
Well, a picnic might be tempting.
Oh, not if there's work to be done.
So perhaps we should revise some of our ideas about white people. Perhaps they're not lazy or unable or unwilling to stick at a job after all. The father in this family has been in the same job for the last 12 years. He works on the local council and says he would come home every night with blisters on his hands, except for a strict union rule not to do so. He enjoys good health and takes his 4 weeks sick leave every year to ensure he maintains that health. Even the youngest in this family has been out to work. You've had a couple of jobs, haven't you?
Yeah.
And one of them was even with a black family.
Yes, she was a dear little girl. Very good with the children. They seem to have a natural affinity with children. Very nice. There was only that little bit of trouble with the 50 cents. Oh, she turned on the tears, but in the end she had to go. Because it doesn't matter how nice they seem. If you can't trust them...
Are white people intelligent? Well, according to recent studies, they are. The problem seems to be their insularity, the tendency to avoid mixing with other races, to cling to their own, fairly narrow view of the world, to resist change. But in a bold experimental move, the government is attempting a new direction.
Seems a bit funny now.
But you'll get used to it.
No!
Oh, don't be silly. Go like a nice lady. They're going to give you a proper education, much better than we can give you.
Yes, they'll teach her to be like black people. Who knows where that'll end up?
Oh, run away from them, sis. Run. She doesn't want to go.
We don't want to lose you two.
Look, he's just excited you go. Now you remember us, won't you? We'll remember you.
Bye, Mum.
Parting with a loved one is never easy. I said goodbye to my mother recently when she went on a holiday, so I know how they feel. But I asked them, do they see this as the price of progress? Do you?
Oh, yes.
It's for the best.
We didn't have any choice.
No. What he means is, well, the government did make the decision, but we understand it's all for the best, don't we?
Oh, yes.
You have an opportunity, you know, if you want to say anything about this. Anything you say will be broadcast and seen by a lot of black people.
Oh, no, there's nothing you want to say.
Except that we're very happy.
Happier than we've ever been, aren't we? He is really.
And so, a happy ending. But I wondered how the minister would react to criticism that some of the policies we've adopted in relation to white people, although well-intentioned, have been misguided and inappropriate.
200 years ago, maybe. We've come a long way since then. We've learned a lot. I mean, would they rather we went away and just left them alone? And then what sort of mess would they make of it? Some of these radical whiteys would only be happy if we black people disappeared off the face of the earth forever. And we're not about to do that, are we?
One of the principal barriers to assimilation seems to be the natural tendency of white people to violence. They love violence. They love it as entertainment. And in regular outdoor spectacles such as this one, the crowds flock to see a ritual of violence. No trace of it yet. At this stage, everything is friendly and the crowd is quiet, but not for long. Two teams, as they're called, prepare to do battle in front of a crowd made up of tribes of supporters, each carrying the colours and symbols of their totems. Suddenly, here's what they came for. This is the violence they were hoping to see. And as the crowd rises to its feet, excitement spills over, and the ritual of violence is not enough. The crowd wants blood. This one apparently peaceful, but actually based upon a history of blood and violence. And this time, not just a few deaths, not even a few hundred deaths, or a few thousand deaths, but millions and millions of deaths. This one event, this ceremony, embodies the two most important principles of white society, the very foundation of their way of life, death and sacrifice. So important are these two principles that over the years, white people, with almost missionary zeal, have done their best to export death and sacrifice to every corner of the world. That's what this event is all about.
Just cross Market Street.
We're heading up your way now. Over.
Now listen to this. I'm only going to say it once. Go to your homes. This is an illegal assembly. Anyone found here in 2 minutes' time will be arrested. I repeat, this is an illegal assembly. Hurry up now. You have less than 2 minutes.
Come on, you have to move along. Come on.
You made a decision to stop the march,
Yes.
and you also stopped us from filming what happened next.
We were only moving your cameraman out of the way in the likelihood of possible violence.
But from my research, there never has been any violence at these ceremonies.
However, there has been a lot of bad behaviour associated with these events. A lot of drunkenness, a lot of offensive language. I see no reason why these people shouldn't be free to make offerings to the spirits of their warrior ancestors if they want to. It's obviously an important part of their culture. But I do think these events could be smaller. Why can't they have these ceremonies in their homes? They could get drunk and swear their heads off there if they want to.
Change catches up with us all, often when we least expect it. And for the white family I'd got to know so well, there was no exceptions. You're moving.
Yes, it's a bit of a surprise, but there you are.
The government wants this land for something, so they're moving us. Well, they asked us to go, and we said yes.
You stupid, bloody idiot!
Hey, settle.
Stupid old goon!
Hey, it'll be all right. You'll be all right.
Is your boy not happy about the
It'll
move?
be all right.
What do you want?
I want you to calm down and stop making trouble.
Why? That's what you always say. We're supposed to go around being goody-goodies, and they still kick us in the balls.
It'll be all right. It'll be all right.
Well, maybe he just needs to cool down.
Have they told you where you're going?
We don't know exactly.
But it'll be all right. It'll be for the best.
They'll look after us.
Yeah, it'll all be for the best in the end.
Come on, we're waiting.
Now, what about the boy?
Don't worry, we'll find him.
Oh,
We better go.
it was nice to meet you. Best of luck with your TV show. We'll try and watch it if we can.
Come on.
Goodbye, and good luck. This was a very emotional experience for me, a real lump in the throat. After many months of living with these people, sharing their meager food, their humble dwelling, I felt I became one of the family. And as I watched them drive away, I felt a real sense of missing them. I'm sure they felt that way about me.
Yes. It's part of an initiative training scheme. We believe many people benefit when they're given a challenge. Now, this is an opportunity for these people to find out a great deal about themselves, start a new life, develop all kinds of skills and resources. By golly, I wish someone had given me this sort of challenge when I was young.
And so, what of the future? Do white people need to change their attitude to us?
I'm optimistic.
Or is the answer for us to change our attitude to them?
Three little white boys don't know what to do. One got drunk and then there were two.
I think white people have the will and the spirit to get themselves out of their present difficulties.
Two little whitey boys playing with a gun. One got drunk and then there was one.
White people would do themselves a great deal of good if they would just keep themselves clean and neat. Work hard and speak politely when spoken to.
One little whitey boy staring at the sun. He got drunk and then there were none.
And smile a bit. That's all it takes. You can do wonders with a smile.
Another outbreak of white protest today. A police spokesperson described the demonstration as large, but declined to give precise numbers. Authorities say the situation is under control.